This Week 9 NFL Picks edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is presented by WynnBet. WynnBet is now live in Arizona, Colorado, Indiana, Louisiana, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Tennessee, and Virginia. From boosted same-game parlays to live in-game odds in every major sport, WynnBet has what you need to win. Sign up today and bet $100, win $100 at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WynnBet. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET.
Hey, what's up, you degenerate gamblers? This is Bill Burr, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride, baby.
Long, Cox.
He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
Welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, second that money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Dog.
Halfway home, baby. Well, where am I? Halfway home, baby. Let's. You know what? True halfway point. Now we get that. That is
really
something we don't celebrate enough with the odd number of weeks. You get the beautiful symmetry of a week 9 that sits squarely in the middle. Yeah, I don't know. We're back.
We're back talking Week 9 NFL picks. The YouTube chat is alive and well. Research Spherical Earth. Let it ride, bitches. Gerald Jones saying, "What up, dogs?"
And I gotta be honest. Like, this shouldn't affect my performance tonight, Sean. But my mind is in a little bit of a pretzel right now. For those who listen to the college show, Colby was very certain he has discovered the next big edge that coaches are going to find in football, and that is playing an athlete at the holder position so that they can take advantage of being able to put your knee on the ground or something like that. Very confusing. Anyway, we just spent an additional 30 minutes before the show hearing this breakthrough. Poor Colby. He's losing it.
Ryan, you know what? I tuned it all out because I'm laser focused on the National Football League. I don't even know of any sports going on right now. Geno Smith, say his name, Kramer.
I said his name. I said it was a great performance, and I said Pete Carroll's a fucking dog.
Pete Carroll.
Anything
really
else you'd like? Maybe you don't listen to the other shows. Research Spherical Earth.
Smith happens saying first time watching live instead of the Spotify on demand.
Ooh.
Let's go again. Feel free, pepper in your comments live and subscribe. YouTube.com/Sports Gambling Podcast. Hit that subscribe, comment on one of our videos there, and you're automatically entered to win an autographed jersey, either Lawrence Taylor or Brian Dawkins. We will be doing the drawing Sunday night, so make sure you get your comments in and be subscribed to YouTube.com/Sports Gambling Podcast. Just get jacked. Oh man, this music, it's football music. Weather's getting cold, good hitting weather. You know what else I like to hit? Hit the old button on my WynnBet account. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WynnBet. Great promos, great parlays, in-game betting. First off, get the bet 100, get the $100 free bet. Again, every state you can visit, you can get that $100 free bet. They got the WynnBet Win Hour every Thursday from 5 to 6 East. Get you some nice reduced juice, better odds. Yeah, who doesn't want better odds? And then again, building our own bet. We just did our Thursday night prop show. Check that out if you want to hear our build your own bets for the Thursday night game. So much action over at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET. Bet big, win bigger. Offer subject to change. Terms and conditions at WynnBet.com. Must be 21 or older and present in the state where playthrough WynnBet is available. If you're someone who knows a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. And Gerald Jones saying, haven't deposited and win yet in New York. What are you waiting for, sir? Get that $100 free bet at the very least. All you got to do is bet $100. We're also brought to you by No House Advantage. Again, we just did our props show for Thursday night. We're going to be doing an NFL props episode next. Obviously, you like playing props. This is like props, but DFS style. You can enter these big contests. again, massive cash opportunity. You can win up to $250,000 in their contest. And it's not just NFL. They got NBA, PGA, MMA, NASCAR, and you get a first deposit match up to $25. NoHouseAdvantage.com, promo code SGPN. NoHouseAdvantage.com, promo code SGPN for No House Advantage. Matthew Cummins saying finally was able to stay up for one of these East Coast D-Gen. Let it ride. Dryden in the chat saying Seattle Seahawks undefeated against the NFC Beast. That means all that means is they haven't played the Philadelphia Eagles, Dryden, because we are undefeated in the National Football League. Ryan is taking care of the
some slight technical difficulties. Anytime Colby's in here, stuff starts breaking. And I saw
he is machine, but he doesn't work well with other machines.
I also see Mr. Dan Enderlin, who has been patiently waiting, Sean, for one of these bad boys.
Yeah.
Who shout out to us. Finally got around. Signatures newly minted. These will go out shortly. So Dan, appreciate you being patient. I don't remember who won the other one. It was Patrick Fisher and someone else had made a bet for it. So these helmets will be coming out.
Ryan finally getting the helmets out.
Sean, will these be something you can buy in the merch store in the future?
That reminds me. If you want to buy a mini helmet, those will be dropping in the store for Christmas. We're going to try and get them out for Christmas because they are pretty sweet. Great for your desk, your home office, your man cave, whatever you got going. Those things are pretty cool. And shout out, I love Daniel Enderlin saying, I've been drinking green tea all freaking day. I'm jacked. I love it. Team caffeine. All right, Kramer, enough fucking around. Let's get to the picks.
All right, Sean. Unfortunately, we have 6 teams on bye. Cleveland, Dallas, Denver, my New York Football Giants, the Steelers, and the 49ers. This is like the one bad week. I appreciate that they mostly concentrated the buys. This is the real hit we got to deal with. Unfortunately, it's left us with only 2 games in the late window, Sean, which NFL.
Well, and I think part of it was because they thought that
World Series.
No. I think they thought Rams, Tampa Bay. Every once in a while, they just go, hey, everyone's going to get this mega game. Rams, Bucks. I'm sure when the season started or before the season, they thought Rams Bucks was going to be an awesome game.
Let's just have a little heart to heart real quick. You don't need to have 8 games in the early window if you only plan on having 2 in the late. I don't quite understand the strategy anymore. I mean, I like
no, everyone has 8 TVs, but for those that don't, it kind of sucks.
Even us, we're going to be throwing red zone on the main screen, which means the teardrop's going to come out for one of these shit fests that we're about to talk about. All right, Thursday night. Sounds like we'll have a 2-screen experience for the Houston and Philly fans. The Eagles heading to Houston to take on the Texans. I am getting concerned that the Texans may not be very good at football. Eagles laying 13 and a half, minus 900 on the money line, plus 600 for the Texans. 46 is the total. I mean, at this point, we're now starting to be. Is it 2007 Patriots talk? Will we start seeing lines creep up to 21 points? Obviously, if this was played in Philly, we would be talking about a legit 20.18,
probably 16 and a half. I think they would keep it under 17.
Your Eagles don't have a home field. Is that what you're saying?
No, I think they do. I don't think they're factoring much home field in.
Got it.
For the Texans. I just looking at the matchups, it's tough to think of a matchup that Houston really has the advantage on. And again, I know in general you're not going to do well taking double-digit road favorites. But I mean, how could you take the Texans right now? Break it down. What's one matchup the Texans win? Brandon Cooks now. It looks like he's kind of almost sitting out this game. He's a little banged up. He was also very frustrated he wasn't traded.
Weird. Maybe this is why he's been traded so many times.
Miles Sanders going up against his Texans run defense. We have Jalen Hurts coming back to his hometown, and Eagles starters were able to rest for a decent chunk of that fourth quarter, which is huge going into these Thursday night games, because we've seen traditionally, or at least so far, Ryan, correct me if I'm wrong, but teams with a Thursday night game look ahead have struggled. Eagles obviously didn't struggle against the Steelers. I mean, the Eagles defense could very well outscore the Texans offense. The turnover differential is insane. Eagles are plus 14. The second team in the NFL right now is the Ravens at plus 6. Meanwhile,
probably not sustainable.
Davis Mills versus a team that's created 16 turnovers.
I mean, there's certain look the angle. I guess the positive Houston take is they're able to start fast on the ground, and they're able to move the ball, and they shorten the game by running a lot of clock, and it melts away, and it's not a blowout. But that's just not the way the Eagles have played. To your earlier point, Eagles one of only 5 teams to cover looking ahead to Thursday night. They were able to rest them. There's really not a ton you can say about this. Let's go back into the database. 4 times last year did a top 4 DVOA team take on a bottom 4 DVOA team. Only once did the bad team cover, and it was by a half point in a 14.5 point spread. So even that, there isn't a great case to fade the Eagles here. I mean, the fade comes from purely they're 7-0 first half ATS. They're catching north of 70% of the tickets. Not surprising. Fun fact: this is tied for the largest road favorite of all time. Previously, it was an Indy at Atlanta. The next largest, San Francisco at Atlanta. So this is the first time that Atlanta is not playing a participant into getting their ass kicked. But in those situations, the favorites covered. So you have kind of this weird dynamic where when the Eagles being so good and the Texans being so bad, they probably can't make the number big enough. So
yeah, I'm on the Eagles. I mean, obviously,
Mills 0-1 in prime time.
And just Davis Mills against this defense, I think is just going to be trouble. So give me the Eagles laying the 13.
The other angle I would say is that Philly's coming off the second best single game DVOA of the season after that Chiefs performance we talked about, where they went north of 100 on offense versus the San Francisco 49ers. So perhaps maybe a tiny bit of a boomerang in what could be a flat spot, but even that's a tough sell because they have the lowly
maybe
Redskins.
Dameon Pierce breaks a bunch and whatever. There's different angles you can talk yourself into, but none of them seem that feasible. So I'm laying the big number here.
And the last thing I'll say is the worst thing they have going for them is that everyone's going to be caring about the Astros. So they actually this might be a very strange atmosphere. I would imagine it could be very, very much an Eagles home game, right?
Yeah, although I don't know. I mean, again, are Eagles fans going to travel down in Houston for a Thursday night game?
Cheaper ticket than the World Series.
Yeah, it's true.
And they want to be there to hang out. I don't
know.
No,
and actually, you're right, because probably now, especially that the series is definitely going back to Houston for Game 6. You can fly down to Houston, go to the Texans game Thursday night, and then go to the go to the Eagles Texans Thursday night, and then go to the Stros Phillies Friday.
Sunday, Buffalo heading to the Jets. Buffalo laying 12.5 minus 625 on the money line. Jets plus 450. 46.5 is the total. I guess we should have mentioned non-conference road spots quietly, but for the last game, this feels like a similar game, but they're divisional opponents.
Yeah,
and which is an incredibly important dynamic. Another trend we were talking about, Sean, before the show was teams looking to the bye. New England in this case, the Jets in this case would be the team, and what do they have? 11-5. That trend has been. With the Jets, the difference to me between the Jets and the Texans is the Jets have shown a little bit of fight. The concern with the Jets and a big spread is Zach Wilson pick 6 second half.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm going back and forth on this because you look at the Jets and it's the Jets defense yards per play 4.7. It's actually better than the Buffalo defense, which is 5.0 yards per play. The look ahead line for Buffalo was minus 10.5.
The adjustment seems it doesn't seem like it's fair considering that Buffalo just came off their worst game of the year, probably. Did you know, Sean, Green Bay actually beat them in the stat sheet? DVOA liked them more. Like it was a strange outcome of a game.
And then that's the other thing is the Bills are great at creating interceptions. They're first in the league with 11 interceptions. So you have Zach Wilson going up against that team. But then on the other side, we've seen Josh Allen, for a guy having an MVP season, he does have 1 or 2 turnovers a game that cost you a big spread, a la what we saw in Green Bay. Right? Because that's what we're sorry against Green Bay at home in Buffalo. Similar kind of game. They moved up and down the field against this Packers team. The Packers team defense really had no resistance. The only time they really stopped them was those 2 interceptions. And that's why, they only put up 27 points. I say only because they were moving the ball at will on this Packers team. But man, can you really take the Jets here? I get it. It's a home dog.
I think you can.
All right.
I mean, I think it's certainly the right
Jets
side.
are 20-8 ATS at home following a home loss in the last 28 instances. So
Buffalo is a public team. Again, the Jets looking to the buy trend. We like that. Matt Milano, very questionable. He tends to be someone who's important to their defense. Although I went back and looked at strictly wins and losses, not as critical as I think I had in my mind, but still a guy that seems to matter especially when it comes to the tight ends and running backs. This kind of felt more like the proper gross dog than the one on Thursday night to me. All right, next up, Kurt.
Yeah, I'm going Jets. Jets plus 12.5. It's close, but you said Buffalo is going into the bye, right? That's the only thing.
No, Jets are going into the
okay,
bye.
Right. That's one more. That's kind of the deciding factor.
Buffalo is also very, very public this week.
These teams going into the bye does seem to matter. So yeah, give me the Jets.
And I'll just repeat it, but I do have a note that says, "Are we really going to back Zach Wilson?" So the answer is yes.
We're gonna I mean, maybe they pull him for Mike White, who is now the backup.
Wait, what happened to Flacco?
Flacco's now 3rd string.
What happened?
I don't know. They're a Mike White show now. I don't know. Who knows what's going on?
They needed
someone
to throw to Elijah Moore in the practice field, so they had to demote. All right, next up we got the Kirk Cousins Bowl. Minnesota heading to Washington to take on the Commandos. Plus 3.5 at home. Plus 150. Vikings minus 185. 43.5 is the total. So now we're at the Vikings are one of the worst 6-1 teams of all time, yet they keep getting it done. But isn't this just a system play? Isn't this just purely we're away from home with the Vikings? We don't like them as much. We hate them in this type of like laying 3.5. I know the gambling gods say lay 3.5.
I guess the similar situation to me is the Dolphins game where the Vikings actually went on the road, non-conference road favorite, got it done. Is that similar? I mean, I'm worried about the Commanders. Are they going to be able to get a pass rush on this Vikings team? And
what do we know about? Why am I blanking on this? They just activated him from the PUP or the IR.
Chase Young.
Is he going to play?
I don't know. If he does, I imagine they're going to ease him in.
Seems the way they do it.
Yeah, like he's certainly not going to go full speed.
TJ Hawkinson, you think he'll be involved?
I think he will because Irv Smith is out. I think that's a big reason why they traded for him.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's going to know the entire playbook, but I would imagine they're going to trot him out there.
Think about Hawk Skull.
And the Vikings receivers, Justin Jefferson, he started out so amazing. Hasn't done much touchdown wise. Like he's still having a pretty good year, but not like dominant. That first game, you looked at me and was just like, "Oh my God, this is like Cooper Kupp if he was a super athlete." Yeah. And I was same thing. I immediately was blown away. I'm like, why do we not take him instead of Christian McCaffrey in our high stakes fantasy league? And but he hasn't dominated really. Like he hasn't been that dominant force.
He's dominated when he's dominated. You know what I mean? Like
it's like he's having a good year. No one would say I think he's having a bad year, but he's only had what? Has he had a touchdown since that first game?
He definitely has the ability to change a game. And so I guess so this is one of these situations where like blindly looking at the board, Justin Jefferson has 2 touchdowns this season. Yeah, well,
he had 2. He had 1 rushing.
Didn't he pass for 1? Or maybe it was a run.
No, I think he has 1 rushing, and then he had 2. He had 2 receiving that first game. Other than that, nothing.
All right, so yeah, the Commanders. I want to lay the 3.5 because it's the intelligent thing to do all the time. But in this case, I like Taylor Heine. Like this Washington team is just covering games. They've won 3 straight. They've covered 3 straight. I don't think they're getting any sort of value bump in the number here. And I'll give you a little bit extra. What if I call this a primetime game?
How so?
Kirk Cousins coming home.
I'll never forget Kirk Cousins accidentally kneeling instead of spiking it against the Eagles. Not enough people talk about that as an all-timer where it's right before half. They need to stop the clock. They're driving. He's on like the 10-yard line of the Eagles. And instead of spiking it, he just kneels it. It was really beautiful. I mean, yeah, the Packers, they beat the Packers at home. That was kind of a kitchen sink game. They pulled one out of their ass against the Colts, and then they beat the Bears in a super, super ugly game where the Bears had a play there at the end to win the game. So
he is 1-0 versus the Redskins, but it was they were playing a 1-7 Redskins team. So
Heineke is a dog, as they're pointing out in the chat.
No, it's just hard for me to look any other way. This guy, he's got that Ryan Fitzpatrick magic. This Vikings team is fraudulent. This would be the perfect time for the frauds to show up.
All right, I'll take the Commanders.
Let's go.
This doesn't feel like a lock potential though.
Next up, Green Bay. Oh, Green Bay, and rarely do we see this, Sean, but a couple times a year. 3rd straight road game. Even worse when you consider they played in London, came home for 1 game, then went on a 3-game road trip. Aaron Rodgers must have done something wrong. They're laying 3.5 here in a get right spot against the Detroit Lions. Lions plus 150 at home. Green Bay minus 180. 50 is the total. I mean, the look ahead was 6.5. Sean, what are we doing?
This is an amazing opportunity to get on the Green Bay Packers.
3 straight road games. We're not worried.
I mean,
short trips, right?
Certainly, you're worried overall about the Packers, but man, I'm much more worried about this Lions team that just figures out ways to lose games. They just figure it out. Dan Campbell biting kneecaps.
Remember that quote about
you're biting curbs because you're getting curb stomped, my man.
Him and his GM were like, yeah, people think we're stupid.
We're not stupid. We're tough. We're not dumb. We're tough.
Football guys.
I love football guys. Deuce Staley, dog. You can't have an entire pack of dogs. You need like one guy who's the brainiac on the team.
Yeah.
One guy in the GM. Who's the numbers guy? Who's the guy scheming up plays? You need some sort of balance. Like, Dan Campbell is going to be a great tight ends coach, a great O-line coach, a great special team coach. I mean, he drinks 80 ounces of caffeine. He's ready to run through a brick wall. The problem is his play calling is brick wall. Their offense is weird because their offense. I mean, how did they lose that game against the Dolphins
at home?
Against the Packers?
Yeah.
Well, the Packers were resting their starters. And DeAndre Swift. Now he looks like he's going to be out again. They brought him back probably too early. He only had 10 touches, and then he's going to be out again.
I got to be honest, Sean. It sounds like he's out because he doesn't have the dog in him.
Yeah, I mean,
he might be. This might be coach's decision, pussy.
Aaron Rodgers. You want to talk about owning the Lions? The Lions and the Jags, Ryan. We need to credit ourselves because there's a lot of hype about the Lions, the Jags.
Yeah. Predatory cats. You don't back them in the NFL.
This is their year. There's a lot of metrics pointing. Jared Goff fucking sucks. All right, as the owner of Jared Goff Sucks Island, I'm telling you, business is booming. Aaron Rodgers also. There's a couple teams he owns. One of the teams he owns is the Lions. 18-6, 52 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 6,055 passing yards against a Detroit defense, 32nd in defensive DVOA. And they have the triple crown of where they're 32nd in rush DVOA and 32nd in pass DVOA. Like DFS wise, I don't know who's going to eat more in this game. Is it going to be Aaron Jones, Dillon, Romeo Doubs, my boy Tunyon? Like, I think they're just going to be able to move the ball at will on this team.
So we aren't concerned about the back road spot, and we aren't concerned about Aaron Rodgers pouting.
Oh, I'm concerned. I mean, listen,
he's not losing to Jared Goff, right? They're gonna.
I'm not having the Packers win the Super Bowl by any means, but they're playing the Lions, and I guess you can make the case for the Lions, right? Division home game. Lions actually, I found this nugget online. Every team the Lions have faced is currently above 500. So you can say tough schedule, but we've watched these games. They figure out ways to lose. They figure out ways not to cover a 3.5. Like I'm not taking the Lions. I'm not.
I certainly don't love the Packer situation. They it feels like we're kind of going down with the ship. But I have to buy this 3-point adjustment on the look ahead. And by the way, the back-to-back road trend this year, Sean, 7-12-2. Those teams are against the spread.
Daniel Enderlin saying that beer has to be empty. What do you mean? I'm drinking out of it.
Talking shit, huh? All right, we're both on the Packers, right? It is the chalky side. Worth noting.
You mean the square sharps aren't hammering Detroit?
I mean, all the games we've talked about have been fairly lopsided action so far.
Really? What? And people I assume are on Minnesota.
Yeah, the
Buffalo,
the favorites.
Philly.
Yeah.
All right.
You know what happens when the books have a decent week? Everyone comes back and hits the favorites even harder. All right, next up, the Chargers coming off that bye week.
San Diego Superchargers charge.
Heading down to the Hotlanta where my Falcons are catching 3 plus 145 on the money line. First place Atlanta Falcons. Minus 175 for the Chargers. 49 is the total. All right. So obviously people are going to tell you this is a get right spot for the Chargers. They're coming off the bye. Herbert's going to look amazing.
Well, Keenan Allen, our boy Keenan Allen.
Sounds like he's out.
Charmin soft.
It sounds like
no dog in him.
The soft.
You know how they do those X-rays? They should just have a roll of squeezable soft Charmin for Keenan Allen.
Soft tissue stuff, man. It lingers.
Soft tissue for soft guys, if you ask me.
Worth noting a couple quick things. Like I mentioned, the Chargers are coming off that bye. The Chargers are getting the majority of the action, and the Falcons are looking ahead to not only Thursday night football, but a Thursday night football battle against the now spunky Carolina Panthers. Again, that look ahead to Thursday night spots 5-10-1 this year.
Well,
ATS.
I mean, why are the Chargers are very lucky to be 4-3.
3-0 on the road though.
3-0 on the road and 3-0 on the road. ATS again, very weird team, but their weakness. I'm a matchup guy at the heart of it. You know, eye test matchup. What are the Chargers bad at? They're bad at stopping the run. What do the Falcons do? The only fucking thing they do well is run the ball.
Stubbornly.
Algier, Mariota, Huntley. They're turning Caleb Huntley, Ryan, into a household name.
Well, Damian Williams and Cordell Patterson are healthier too. Like they're close to returning. Like this team's back to their full like quadruple
Wing
option.
I am worried about Atlanta, the look ahead spot to a division Thursday night game, but they're going up against a really bad defense. Now they also have a really bad defense, but the Chargers have none of their receivers. And Eckler, I think, could have a big game against this. Like for DFS purposes, this is a non-conference dome game with two bad defenses. This is game I'm looking to stack. Like an Eckler, maybe Drake London, Eckler, even our boy Kyle Pitts, Algier, Eckler, a double running back stack. Like I want to get involved in this game fantasy wise.
Oh yeah.
But let's take a look at Justin Herbert, Ryan, as a favorite of 3 or more, 7-13 ATS. He's just not quite living up to the hype. And I don't know if I don't think we'll really know till the end of the year. I don't know if it's play calling, Brandon Staley, their offensive coordinator, whatever it is. It's like you got a rocket launcher and you're using it like a pea shooter. Justin Herbert's yards per attempt have gone down from 7.5 yards per attempt all the way down to 6.5. That's a huge drop in the NFL. In my mind, you're not an elite quarterback if you're not above 7. Like he's not aggressively throwing the ball down the field. Now, some of it could be the receivers, some of it could be the scheme. Like that Broncos defense. Now, granted, that Broncos defense was really good. It's a division game.
So interesting. One couple nuggets I plucked out of this matchup. Like I think the perception of what these teams are like 16th and 20th DVOA, not a huge gap. Secondly, I was shocked to find out Chargers are a bottom 10 red zone offense. It's the biggest glaring weakness of this Atlanta team. Their defense, their ability to execute. We saw it last week. They let Carolina throw a fucking Hail Mary. But this Chargers team is struggling around the red zone, and if this turns into another spot where they're kicking field goals because they don't have Keenan Allen, because Mike Williams is out, I'm intrigued here. I'm very intrigued. The other thing I'll say, Atlanta on the opposite side, they execute really well around the red zone, and that's a strength of the Chargers. But the way that Atlanta attacks with the ground game against this Chargers defense is an advantage for the Falcons. And so I understand why the number is 3. I understand, I guess, why people are betting on the Chargers
coming off a bye. Yeah, I get it.
But this Falcons team was a team that was making us money. They were 6-0. Now they're 6-2 ATS. So things are coming back to earth. But to your earlier point, until Brandon Staley shows us he's not some sort of square sharp, letting everyone run. I mean, Arthur Smith is going to be.
D-Bet is saying he's about to get a second coach fired, and maybe some of this is on Herbert, right?
Maybe. I mean, you did say that Herbert may not be all that good. I do think that Staley, like, this is a spot where Staley's going to very clearly not be as good of a coach as Arthur Smith, and that's a crazy thing to say. But the first place Atlanta Falcons, like, they have to be focused. They have to squeeze every game. And the only thing I love about the Chargers here is they're on the road. That's their wheelhouse. That is their wheelhouse. Not many Chargers fans.
Superchargers, charge.
And Atlanta is dealing with a number of secondary injuries, as Gerald Jones points out. But
I go look at the injury report. I dare you to look at the injury report. This team is healthy. Only one player, AJ Terrell, that secondary member, didn't practice today, Sean. This is a very healthy team. They're healthier than the team coming off the bye. That's not something you see all the time. So I think you're going to see a lot of people betting on the Chargers this week, and we're going to be on the other side. All right.
Yep. Atlanta +3. Hey, you know what I like? You know what's a lead pipe lock when it comes to saving your money? Rocket Money. That's right. Rocket Money. If you're like me, you sign up for a lot of free trials for services. Next thing you know, you're getting billed $99 a month, and you're like, oh, I should cancel that. It's $9. You forget about it, whatever. There are probably so many subscriptions that are hitting your account right now. You lose track. It's easy to do, and maybe you stop using it. It's tough to find the cancel button. You forget about it. Rocket Money is great. If you go to rocketmoney.com/SGPN, they can get you set up. You can be saving hundreds of dollars. They itemize all your subscriptions. Hey, did you realize you had this extra Amazon Prime account or this Hulu account you're not using? Maybe Spotify, Apple Music, whatever it is. Maybe your wife signed up for some, whiskey of the month club. Maybe you got a really cool wife who drinks a ton of whiskey, but then you forgot about it because she left you. I don't know. Whatever your life is, you probably have some subscriptions you might not be using. Rocket Money helps you clean those up. And again, who doesn't want to save a couple bucks? You can use it on getting down on some sweet parlays, whatever it is. Rocketmoney.com/SGPN. Start saving today. And we're also brought to you by Babbel. That's right, Babbel. Oh, me encanta Babbel. That is, I love Babbel. Me encanta fútbol americano. Me encanta cerveza, aka beer. I just said I love beer. Do you know how cool it is to be in a foreign country and say I love beer? Their eyes light up. They go, oh, this guy is a cool dude who likes beer. Not only Babbel Spanish, they also got you covered for French, Italian, German. 10 minutes a day, and you can start having real life conversations in 3 weeks. That is really cool. Make yourself better. There's so much time we waste on the internet, doing complete bullshit. Do something for you. Do something for your brain. And hey, if you don't like it, they got a 20-day money back guarantee, but you're going to like it. In fact, you're going to love it. Go to babbel.com/SGP. Use our sign up link and get up to 55% off your subscription. BABBEL.com/SGP. Up to 55% off your subscription. Babbel, language for life.
All right, moving along. Miami, the Fighting Tua, Sean. This is this is my second favorite twist of this NFL season. Tua. Mike McDaniel, good football coach. Tua,
there was
football guy.
I think we had joked on the show about Mike McDaniel looking like a barista, and I'm sure it's unrelated. Someone else had the similar thought because he has a very barista look.
I saw
But he had, he's got his like slick back hair with his black rim glasses, and they put like a Starbucks smock on him. It looks great. I'm ready to order a nice coffee from that guy.
Great Halloween costume, Mike. Great Halloween. All right, the Dolphins are and shout out to Big Rob. He's got to be enjoying this. Miami laying 5 here.
That was a nice cover by them.
In Chicago, heading to the Windy City, where it's supposed to be. I have a note that there's going to be some wind. I also have a note that it's going to be warm. So Chicago, like I said, catching those 5 points, plus 180 on the money line. Miami minus 220, 45.5 is the total.
Oh, because I'm seeing there's going to be some weather. You think it's going to be decent in Chicago?
I mean, I have a note that there's going to be some wind. I also have a note that it's going to be warm, like I said. So I think maybe both things can be true at the same time. It's supposed to be 60 and sunny with winds in the 15 to 20 mile an hour range. So probably strong enough wind to affect the Tua duck. Could be difficult to take off and fly with a little bit of wind. If the ball's going to be grounded, who does that help? Maybe the Bears, but maybe not, because Miami has a pretty good rushing attack as well. Justin Fields. All right. So I told you I started feeling bad for Justin Fields.
Yeah.
Justin Fields is getting way too much credit. Like, oh, Justin Fields, he's like fixed it, man. Like he figured it out. Like he lost by 20 points last week. He jumped over a dude instead of tackling him.
That was
the fuck are we talking about?
That was a very low IQ play. But Ryan, you must admit
they figured it out.
He's seeing the field better. They're moving the ball up and down the field. They're scoring points.
Okay, like I said, I felt bad. They're doing better, but let's pump the fucking brakes.
Chicago is able to generate a pass rush without blitzing. Now we'll see how that goes with no Roquan Smith. They also obviously traded Robert Quinn. But I think the Bears will be able to hang a little bit with the Dolphins on the defensive side. And Tyreek Hill, Ryan, as a guy who likes long grass, that Soldier Field turf doesn't play that fast. So I think Miami on offense, how do they beat you? They beat you with speed. And I think that's tougher to do in the elements, in high wind environment, if that's what we're going to get on long turf.
Yeah, I'm worried about leaning into the weather, because if it's sunny and there's a little bit of wind, Tua might not throw the strongest ball in the wind, but as Mike McDaniel said, very catchable. And I just worry about the matchups here. Like how does this game not end up exactly if the Cowboys could put up 49 points on this team?
That's one way to look at it. They were on the road.
The Cowboys have not been a great offense this year. The Cowboys maybe it was because Zeke was out. The Cowboys got right against this defense.
Yeah, you watch that game. They let up some explosive plays with Tony Pollard. I would say, we'll see Bradley Chubb. It looks like he could play for the Dolphins. And how much he plays, I think could be interesting, because he certainly could wreck that Bears offensive line. But we're seeing a confidence with Justin Fields in his rushing ability. And I wouldn't be surprised if this game ends up being pretty ugly, similar to what we saw out of that Pittsburgh Miami game a couple Sunday nights ago.
That's a fair angle. All right, a couple other Tua's never won the second on a back-to-back.
No, and that was my other note. Is this is a back-to-back non-conference road spot? So you're at Detroit, back home to Miami, back out to Chicago, playing non-conference teams. Ryan, who are they facing next?
They do have to keep up with the Bills. So I would say maybe less important. They're going back home to take on Cleveland. So
look ahead spot to the Cleveland Browns. I mean, here's what I would say. Here's what I would say about the Dolphins defense. Right? Jared Goff looked like a god in that first half at home.
Yeah, he did. I mean, you make valid. There nothing you're saying is invalid, but at the same time, it feels like we're buying Justin Fields at what could be his career peak.
So 5-point home dog, you're saying, is inflated. I mean, that's pretty insulting, but I get it. You're low on Justin Fields. I'm going to take the Bears +5. I just don't think Miami has it in them to win back-to-back non-conference road games. I'm kicking myself for not taking them last week because that was really the spot. This was the spot to fade them. But again, I haven't had a great handle on this Miami team.
All right. Last thing I'll say. I'm going to say two things. One, Fields just not good cover. I can't buy into Fields. But Dolphins are 13-4 in their last 17 games. That's fucking wild. 13-4. If this was a 17-game season span over the last 9 games of last year and 8 games of this year, 13-4.
Yeah, well, some of those are Brian Flores. Right?
That's fine, but does this feel like an elite 13-win team?
They don't, and maybe they're just kind of sneaky, and maybe
I think our mental representation of Tua is limiting us from realizing.
I like how you keep pointing to your head.
Mike McDaniel he's figured out a way for Tua to throw the ball 10 yards down the field, and for Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle to do everything else.
I think the Bears.
I'm chalky. Fuck it. Give me Miami.
No, I think this is a surprise spot for the Bears. Not 2 non-conference road games are the favorite. One in the dome, one outdoors in the elements.
You got to collect wins but that's the thing. The fucking elements. It's nice. If this was a bad weather game, I would be with you. I think, but
it's going to be snowing Sunday, Ryan. I don't care what the weather says.
Well, maybe that's because the Miami team's coming to town.
They're bringing the snow with them.
Las Vegas, they're heading to Jacksonville. Two cities no one's actually from. Jacksonville catching 1.5 points at home here, plus 110 on the money line. Vegas minus 130. 48 is the total. Vegas would have been a close your eyes special. But they are laying points on the road, coming off a game where they completely laid an egg because of some illness that must have been spreading throughout the locker room.
Yeah, no, they were super sick.
But Devontae Adams still on that injury report.
Really, for illness?
Illness.
That's gonna be the new calling a guy a pussy. Just, I mean, Ryan, how long have we been friends? What, 15 years?
Yeah.
How many times have I called out sick? 0 times.
Yeah.
How many times have I been questionable? 0 fucking times.
Sean loves talking about how strong his immune system is.
My immune system's awesome. I'm not soft like Devontae Adams, especially with the stuff you can inject these guys with. Come on.
So yeah, I mean, you got a Vegas back-to-back road spot. You have a Vegas coming off an absolute ass beating. They did stay in Florida. Positive or negative? Is this team building, or is everyone fucking sick and it's miserable?
They stayed out in.
They were in New Orleans. They stayed in Florida.
Seems weird because like New Orleans to Vegas, does that flight warrant staying out there?
You're already there, I guess. You're going back to Jacksonville, fairly close in proximity. When this one came out, it seemed like a pretty clear side. This was one of the more obvious sides to me. But this Jacksonville. So yeah, this is a battle.
Ryan,
this is a battle between two teams that the stats say are good, or like numbers say are better than they are.
Oh well, I got a stat for you. Trevor Lawrence is 1-20 in games where his defense allows more than 11 points. 1-20. You're telling me the Raiders can't score 11 points after a game where they got shut out? What are we talking about?
They just got shut out though.
Right. That's what I'm saying. They're not going to get shut out back-to-back weeks against this Jags defense.
The Jags are the better team. Why is it they're not favored?
Because they don't win games. Because they're not the better team.
They are though. I mean, numbers would say they're the better team. You're taking the Raiders?
Oh yeah. And now it's a super chalky play, but I love the Raiders. Ryan, God hates Jags ever since they got rid of our Lord and Savior Gardner Minshew. This is great. Someone tweeted this out. The Jaguars had a generational talent, but they let him go in favor of Trevor Lawrence. Attempts similar. Completions, Minshew's better. Completion percentage 63-60. Yards 59.92 to 54.81. Average 7 for Gardner, 6.2 for Goldilocks. Touchdowns 41-12. Touchdown interception. Goldilocks 22-23. QB rating Gardner Minshew 93.9 and Trevor Lawrence 75.9. Gardner Minshew right now is the better quarterback. Doug Peterson 6-10 against the spread after losing as a favorite. This is a great matchup for Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think
I just can't trust. I'm just auto fading the Jacksonville Jaguars.
It's funny because if the Jags were favored here, I would be on the Raiders, but this is the wrong team's favored. Like the line being wrong is going to make me take the Jags and regret it later. But give me the Jags.
Okay.
I don't.
I tried to talk sense.
I know, but I just don't.
You said we need to bring back God hates Jags. You saw Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence just drills defenders.
This is true.
He's got a tight spiral that he just throws directly at the defense.
So we're supposed to take the Raiders here. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, we're supposed to take the Raiders.
Give me the Jags. I don't understand the argument that the Raiders are a good team. I don't understand that. You can't get beat 24-0 against that Saints team and be a good team. Indy.
So wait, you're taking?
I'm taking the Jags.
All right.
I'm not locking it up or anything crazy like that, but
okay.
Colts heading to New England to take on the Patriots. Patriots laying 5.5 minus 250 on the money line. Colts plus 200. 39.5 is the total. No more Naheem Hines on the Colts. I didn't see anything. I mean, the quarterback wasn't horrible last week. This look ahead was like a pick 'em though, Sean. It's now 5.5. I don't know if we don't often see line adjustments like this one week to the next. So I guess we're supposed to take the Colts here, but I don't really want to fade Belichick going against a second-year quarterback in a situation where it seems like Jonathan Taylor might be out, and it's going to be what, Zach Moss and Deion Jackson.
No, I mean I rewatched the tape on that Patriots Jets game, and it was like, man,
they're not great.
Pats were fortunate to get that win and that cover. Like Mac Jones, they had that pick 6 that he got bailed out because of the roughing the passer. But again, Belichick versus a rookie quarterback, 25-6 straight up, 15-0 at home. Brian, 15-0.
Yeah, but it's like I was saying, the look ahead was a pick. Now it's 5.5. So we're not just talking about a.
Really?
Yeah. Like there's some Matt Ryan in there probably, but even with that's a big adjustment.
I mean, the angle is like the Colts are an extremely desperate team. I also think the Colts are on Belichick's shit list. Yeah. Now we don't have as large of sample size, but again, they were the ones who brought all that Deflategate, all that bullshit. He hates Irsay, I'm sure of it. And teams going into the bye. We've talked about this 11-5 ATS. New England fits that model. I think the Colts are going to have trouble with Ramondre Stevenson.
Damian Harris illness as well. Something
a lot of illnesses.
Indy. I missed this because I thought we were out of teams that were the reverse perfect, but Indy is 0-8 in the first half.
Indy is if they had if their offensive line was better, if they had Jonathan Taylor healthy, and
he might not play. He didn't practice today.
No. And again, like he hasn't had, I don't think he's had more than 80 rushing yards since that first week. He's been really off. I just think the Patriots at home against a rookie quarterback
laying that all right. So
the number is a hair high. I totally get it.
Is Sam Ehlinger a mobile quarterback?
Well, that is the big question, right? Because the Patriots struggle with mobile quarterbacks, but watching Sam Ehlinger, and again, that was one of the games I also rewatched the tape. He's slippery. I wouldn't call him mobile, right? Like he moves around in the pocket, okay, but also he's one of those guys that like, I don't know, man. You're not scared of him running down the field. Like I'm just not rewatching that game.
But I mean, you watch the tape, this Pats team, the offense. So it's purely you just ignore that side of the matchup, and you're just saying, give me the Belichick defense versus that offense, and they'll figure it out. They'll get the cover.
And I don't think the Colts defense has been amazing on the road.
All right,
I'm taking New England. I like this spot for them.
How chalky are we this week, Sean?
That's kind of chalky. I mean, I don't think Atlanta's chalky. I don't think Chicago's chalky. I'm sure Washington's not chalky.
New England's
You're
not
chalky.
New England's. What do you mean I'm chalky?
Well, maybe not with Jacksonville.
We have mostly the same picks.
Miami or chalkier. It's probably even because Miami's probably the chalkier side, and
Confirmed.
Las Vegas versus the Jags probably chalkier.
Well, that's a good one. Not good for you. 60% of the tickets on the Raiders. 60% of the dollars on the Jags.
I'm not scared of that bullshit
All right.
anymore.
Fuck it. I'm picking
winners.
I'll lay the points here with you. It's just this Colts team. I mean, he's firing guy. He fired his quarterback. He fired the offensive coordinator. This is it. This might be the last game Frank Reich coaches this year. Carolina.
Really? You don't think they give him the end of the year?
This is consecutive weeks where someone has been fired.
That is true. It is. It does feel like a sinking ship. That's the other reason why I'm fading them. Like they just faded their offensive coordinator, starting a rookie.
The recipe is the defense shows up and it just becomes a low scoring defensive battle. But
yeah, like there's a world where the Pats only
like
win
that.
by 3 or 4, but I'll take the chance they get that cover.
Carolina
Bellinger's going to have a bad turnover.
Carolina heads to Cincinnati, where Cincinnati also would have been a close your eyes special. Unfortunately, they're laying 7, a full touchdown coming off that Monday night football game against the Browns, where the Browns whooped that ass. Why? Because they got a pass rush, Sean. Bengals laying 7, -340 on the money line, +200 for the Panthers. 39.5 is a total. Wow, two predatory cats attacking each other here. Look, I don't want to buy this Carolina team on a high point.
Yeah.
But it is fair to say that my guy, I was on him before anyone when he was throwing passes to Cam Phillips on the Houston Roughnecks. Well, Shout out to the XFL. They canceled the season in my fucking future.
I mean, that first game, they had the training wheels on PJ Walker, and I was like, negative depth of target. Like this guy sucks.
How's that even possible?
But really, once they let him rip it, once they got rid of the anchor known as Christian McCaffrey, really opened up this Panthers offense. They've been looking better. It really is. I mean, that ball he threw to DJ Moore, and what I've learned from my years of betting the National Football League, Ryan, is beware of desperate teams. And this Panthers team is super desperate. What I'm concerned about is that the Bengals are also desperate, right? They just lost a division home game, or division game on the road. They got their
ass beat.
They're going into a bye. You have the stat that teams looking ahead to Thursday Night Football going against the Panthers as well. Also, the Panthers are in an ultimate sandwich spot between these two division games.
I mean,
Burrow after a loss, 12-3 against the spread. But then you look at the other side. Trey Hendrickson is dealing with the back injury. They just lost Chidobe Awuzibe, tore his ACL.
That was awesome.
And the Panthers can get a pass rush. You can't take the Bengals against a team that can get a pass rush. And you have Brian Burns on that Panthers side. They can get a natural pass rush.
We also have some injuries to the secondary for the Bengals, which becomes intriguing.
Yeah. Awuzibe
and Trey Flowers.
They were banged up. Eli Apple Eli Apple
becomes intriguing if this Carolina team is really going to be spunky. I mean, they look like they have a nice combination of running talent with Chuba Hubbard supposed to be back this week. Deontay Foreman looks like the dude he looked like back when he was. Shout out to Steven Ranger and Moonop, but they were kind of reminiscent when Deontay Foreman looked really good on the Texans, but he looks great. Like this Carolina team appears like they can do.
They got some
stuff.
dog in them.
And again, like I worry we're buying into the smaller of the number. Like we're buying at a high point for the Panthers, but you nailed the big point with this Bengals team. Look at their schedule. Every time they've gone against a team that has any sort of pass rush, it's been a problem. I don't even know.
What's their adjusted sack rate, Ryan?
Hold on. Lost to the Steelers when they had TJ Watt. Lost to the Cowboys.
Micah Parsons.
They were able to take care of the Jets and the Dolphins, teams that don't have a pass.
But that's
Ravens.
Weird. I feel like the Jets have a little bit. Their defense is better than people
What's going
think.
on, Sean?
I'm adjusting the helmet.
Okay.
So it feels a little off.
All right. They were able to beat the Falcons, and then they got their ass beat by the Browns. I'll pull up the sack right because I'd have that tab right here, and I think it's, if I'm not mistaken, it's not as sexy as you want it to be, But Carolina is, they're actually a bottom 2 sack rate team, which feels strange when you watch them. So perhaps it's got something to do with getting home. I know some of their pressure rates are better.
Yeah, I feel like they get pressure. Maybe it's just they don't get the sacks.
But that's the way this game goes bad, is if they don't get that pressure. Now, all of that being said, perhaps we need to go. I haven't heard a lot of people say like, "Hey, the offense, Jamar Chase maybe matters more. They can't just plug in T Higgins over here and Boyd and some guy named Michael Thomas, and it just doesn't work the same." And so that's the other element here. Like they are without Jamar Chase, and it does seem like he may be worth a point or something on the number. So, I mean, it's the big play. Now they need the explosive play. He was the guy that got it. He was like, remember the whole fantasy argument? If you look at T Higgins and Jamar Chase's number, they're almost identical. Well, Jamar Chase makes plays. That's what made him. And he was doing the same thing this year. He's not out there yet. Let's take the touchdown.
Yeah, man. There's so much going on in this game, but yeah, I'm going to take Carolina in the points.
This is the most lopsided bet game.
And everyone's taking the Bengals.
Oh.
Okay. All right. That makes me feel a little bit
across 4 different places, all north of 85%.
Okay. I'll take Carolina here.
You sure? Final answer.
No, it's scary about Cincinnati going into bye. It's scary about Carolina looking ahead to the bye or to the Thursday night game against Atlanta. Those scare me. It scares me fading Bengals after coming off a brutal loss there, but I think they're going to be able to get pressure, and that's really all that matters.
I mean, it's a small sample, but also worth noting teams off Monday night are 5-8-1 ATS. So the short week has not been good, and it's only gotten worse. Moving along to the afternoon slate, Seattle, Arizona, 105 kick here on the West Coast. Arizona, Cliff, Kyler with the home rig, new modern new maps to play.
Where are we dropping, boys?
They're laying points. We hate this spot for them. -1.5, -125 on the money line. Seattle +105, 49.5 is the total. Seattle still getting no respect. The only thing I brought this up to you before the show, but if you do the math, right, they were -2.5, I think, up in Seattle, which means you think Seattle has a home field, so that's probably a 5-point neutral. Now they're only laying 1.5. Like the math just doesn't add up. And I understand there's adjustment because Geno and the Seahawks are actually good. Pete Carroll, dog, all that good shit. Dog. But this is a pretty heavy adjustment to a number that even the way they're both playing, I do kind of think this still probably needs to be 2.5 or 3.
It's Kyler getting angry. He's not getting the respect he deserves, Ryan. I can't fade this Seahawks team. They're physical. They're physical. They have Geno Smith. They have K9. K9 dog. Kyler. I know they have DeAndre Hopkins, but I mean, well, I had Cardinals on the road, which they're better at. 3rd and 8 inside the red zone, and the shotgun snap just hits him right in the chest, falls on the ground.
Is that the handicap? Just Geno got more dog in him.
Kyler doesn't want to win. Ryan, I'm leaning into the idea of the more desperate team, the more desperate player. Geno's out here balling for his life. Kyler's sitting on a guaranteed $250 million, and he's got his game on pause. And he can't wait get back to the crib, get on his Twitch stream. I just don't see much hunger out of this Cardinals offense.
You're very hip, Sean. Yeah, I mean, any way you break down these teams, one is very good, one is very bad, and yet the number is very small, and that's the part that's confusing. Like I understand it. Same with some of the other games we've already broken down, but feels like we're buying into a very expensive price. But also, like, maybe it just hasn't caught up. Yeah. Because if you had to guess, and maybe you know this, but where do you think Arizona is in DVOA?
Like total DVOA?
Yeah, overall total DVOA.
Let's say 18.
30th, ahead of only the Colts and the Texans. 26th in offense, 19th in defense.
Because they just pull shit out of their ass, right? Like it's not. None of this stuff is sustainable. We would have been complete. Here's the counter to that, Ryan. What would this line have been if they would have lost to the Saints at home? And arguably they should have lost to the Saints at home, but we were fortunate. We got 2 Andy Dalton pick sixes, and it was like, oh, hey, they got DeAndre Hopkins back. They're good to go. I may have even fell for that a little bit myself.
They do have D-Hop back, and that seems to matter a little bit. So now, like, same game. Where is Seattle in the DVOA?
I don't know. They got to be like 15th,
6th.
Wow.
7th in offense, 11th in defense, and
their
that
defense, their defense was a disaster early. Like, I bet if you did their defense after like
if
the
you look
fourth
at EPA
game on or something,
over the last 4 games, I believe it is, they're a top 3 defense. So this is this number stinks in so many different ways. Eye test, football guy, tape, just pure numbers.
I'm not doing that though. I can't see a team that's obviously going to beat the other team and go, well, actually this is a good spot and no one's taking them. No, I'm picking the best team. I'm not overthinking this.
I'm with you. I mean, I would never give out a plus 105 dog, but it does feel like this could be my dog this week. Next up, the Rams. They're heading to Tampa, who's got a little mini bye coming off the Thursday night game.
Last bit on that game. The road team traditionally wins in this matchup. I know I used that when I had the Cardinals last time at Seattle.
Well, that's the other handicap. They just held them to 9 points. I mean, I know Seattle didn't quite light it up either, but yeah. All right, moving along. Rams, Bucks off Thursday night. Bucks laying 2.5 here, minus 150 on the money line. Rams plus 125. 42.5 is the total. A little bit of the handicap here for me is, boy, I don't really want to lay points with either one of these teams.
No. Cooper Kupp dealing with tissue swelling though, expected to play, but he's not 100%. And we already have Sean McVay going back to TV rumors. He's leaking it out that if his core guys of Matt Stafford, Cooper Kupp, Jalen Ramsey, Aaron Donald, if that core gets broken up, Sean McVay's calling it quits. And obviously that is Sean McVay leaking that out.
No,
Albert Breer isn't going to put that out unless like someone from Sean McVay's camp leaks that out.
I would say
that like the guy with the hair gel's like got half the foot out the door. The team's unraveling.
And it's interesting because I would have expected to hear a more fluffy piece from Peter Schrager, his BFF, versus some stranger here. So
and matchup wise, I think the one obviously that sticks out to me is Aaron Donald versus this Tampa Bay interior offensive line. But can we? The Bucks suck, but so do the Rams, man. Can we trust Matt Stafford and the Rams to go on the road?
So the Bucks started they're 2-6 ATS, which is the worst start of Tom Brady's career. But if I told you he started 3-5 last year, it wasn't that much better. So this could be a get right spot because as you would point out, this Rams team is certainly fraudulent. We're conditioned to take the 2.5, not lay it.
Yeah. No, I get that. I mean, let's break down the Rams games on the road real quick, Ryan, and just see if I'm
probably not pretty.
See if I'm onto something.
All right. Well, first up, they let's see, Cardinals on the road. They won 20-12.
Now we know Cardinals suck at home.
Rams, which is almost a throwaway, they lost 24-9. Boy, they have not taken to the road a lot. This
only
is
2 road games,
almost
right?
A little bit like
and they lost to the 49ers, beat the Cardinals. They don't have another road game on there, do they?
No. This is their 3rd road game.
Oh, God, I want no part of this. I guess Tampa Bay does have that Thursday night thing going. Coming off the Thursday night long rest.
I mean, at some point, Tom.
I mean, I keep saying like, "Oh, this is a fuck you game by Brady," but maybe it's fuck me because I keep believing the fuck you game is still in there for Tom. Now that the divorce is settled, finalized, do you think he's cleared his head a little bit?
Cooper Kupp being banged up is the difference.
I know
maker.
that to me. They have no offense. I'm going Tampa Bay. I'm taking the home team.
Yeah.
This is supposed to be the marquee game. Want nothing to do with it. It's Seattle, Arizona, which I think is going to actually be a good game, and then Tampa Bay Rams. So
we might hate ourselves. All right, Sunday Night Football. The Titans heading to Kansas City, coming off the bye. minus 12.5 for the Chiefs, minus 625 on the money line. Titans plus 450. 46.5 is the total. I think this number suggests Malik Willis, right?
Yeah, I would say so. I think if it's
Tannehill's going to play.
really,
I think Tannehill's going to play.
what makes you think that?
I mean, Vrabel's a smart guy.
Yeah.
Vrabel would know that if Tannehill's close, like we heard that Tannehill was close to playing last week.
Okay.
Classic scenario. You got the bigger game coming up next. So you say, you know what? Not only can I sit him out here, get him some extra rest, we can play mind games with our opponent where they think that we're going to roll out a Malik Willis, and Tannehill comes out and balls out, has his best game of the year. It is Andy Reid off a bye.
I know these are two dueling trends, Ryan.
But this number's huge.
Mike Vrabel is a dog, 19-7 ATS is a dog of bigger than 3. And then Andy Reid, 18-9 against the spread off a bye. Matchup wise, this Tennessee team, man, Mike Vrabel really should be in the mix for coach of the year because, you know, they lost their Landry, their really good pass rusher. They obviously lost AJ Brown, who's a dog, coach, as we know, and he just keeps getting the best out of these guys. Like I'm sure I think did they have a positive point differential yet?
I
think they were like -6 and 4-2.
They love to outperform their stats. I mean, they're another like, how can they be that good? Look, Derrick Henry is imperfect. Derrick Henry fucks up the Chiefs form. Titans
know how to go in and hang around with this Chiefs team.
The reason I bring up the Tannehill thing, because I think if Tannehill plays, this number is what, 10?
Yeah, like 9.5.
9.5. So we can get 3 points of value. Hashtag Team Ryan.
I keep saying I don't think Tennessee.
They just beat a team with a fucking quarterback that couldn't pass.
Here's the thing, though, Ryan. I've said this before, where I go, you know what, Tennessee, they're just not a team that's going to get blown out. And then they go up to Buffalo and they just get butt fucked by this Bills team.
Oh, you think this could be like we saw what you did to them. I want to do that to you too.
I'm taking Kansas City minus 12.5. I like the case for the Titans, Ryan. But this is Andy Reid off a bye. This was my baptism into sports gambling.
Andy Reid off a bye, 21-3 straight up, but only 16-8 ATS. If you look at the home games,
now I don't know where you're getting that. I'm seeing 18-9, but
okay. If I look at the home games, 17-2 straight up and 12-7 ATS. So there's opportunity for wins and not covers in there. Tannehill was limited, dude. I think he's going to play. I think we're going to get some value on this number, and I'm going to bet on the Titans here. I think Derrick Henry goes fucking ape shit.
You know who's going to go ape shit? Patrick Mahomes. His new toy, Kadarius Toney, who's all of a sudden healthy, Ryan, fully healthy. Expect Kadarius Toney's getting in that end zone. You know how this stuff works.
That's a great. I didn't even include this in the handicap because I wasn't entirely sure who Kadarius Toney was. Might be a fun first touchdown play. Cancer has entered the locker room.
Okay, look out.
He's not even playing fucking Call of Duty with the boys. Juju, Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes. He's over there hanging out with Jackson Mahomes.
Back-to-back road spot for the Titans.
Jackson Mahomes and young Joka are already working on a collab. Come on. All right, final game, Monday Night Football. Baltimore heads to New Orleans, where the Ravens are laying 2.5, minus 145. On the money line. Saints plus 120. 48.5 is the total. I mean, this is a confusing game. I know there's a lot of sharp action in on the Saints. That's what moved the line 2.5. What's the angle here? The Saints won a game against a team that might have had the flu.
Yeah, that was an outlier game. We've seen the Saints team. They're bad. Andy Dalton turns the ball over. Like the turnover differential alone, to me, has it all over on the Ravens. And they just added Roquan Smith. They had a little bit of extra time because of the Thursday Monday thing, probably to get him that extra day. So I think if anything, he has a little bit of extra time out there. Baltimore going into the bye, as we know, 11-5 ATS. Baltimore's offense second in DVOA. This Saints team is really not good. I think that Raiders thing was just a situation spot more than anything. Saints, they have a horrible turnover differential. Like Andy Dalton turns the ball over. Ravens are second best in the league at creating turnovers. Feels
like we've kind of watched the worst version of this Ravens schedule. Like if you run all the simulations, feels like the Ravens are more often 6-2, 7-1, and even 8-0. The fact that we're looking at only a 5-3 team feels almost like fraudulent in the negative. So, I mean, obviously I'm taking the Ravens here. When I first saw this game, I was like, oh, that's interesting. I wonder where the money's going to come. And when I saw the money pour in on the Saints, I was a little surprised because once again, this Ravens team looks great on paper. And to your point, it's almost like people are overlooking this. Sure, the Andy Dalton offense is stabler, I guess, but he's doing the same things that Jameis does.
It's like you're getting the.
It's Kamara. That's the handicap.
It's still the turnover stuff that Jameis does without the big explosive plays.
And honestly, like shame on us for not bringing this up, but the Kamara revenge spot against the city of Las Vegas, I didn't see that in that ass beating last week. So, I mean, is Kamara going to have a massive 3 touchdown game this week against the Ravens? No, I have a feeling they're going to take him out of the game. Now, you don't beat the Ravens that way. You beat them by throwing the ball down the field. So maybe it will be proven wrong, but
Olave could do something, but yeah, this just seems like a great environment for Lamar. I think he's going to run a bunch. This isn't a dome. It just seems like the perfect environment. And we saw him in a pretty good spot against Tampa Bay. Like I thought he was able to move the ball, and yeah, I like the Ravens here laying 2.5.
Let's do it.
All right, Ryan, time for the Lock Dog and Tease presented by sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WynnBet. Bet $100, get $100 free bet.
Happy birthday.
All right,
Would you
Ryan,
like to go first?
They're the lasers calibrating.
You can go first.
You want me to go first?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. For my first lock.
You're not. I'm ready. If you're not,
I'm ready.
Okay.
Give me the Las Vegas Raiders -1.5.
Oh, no.
The Jags are a horrible team. They just are.
Oh no.
For my second lock, man, I want to put Seattle in there. It's a division game. A couple things I like here. Do I go crazy?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like crazy's
I
in the
locked up
cards.
New England last week. Do I lock them up again?
They got you across the finish line.
Yeah, let's go New England -5.5.
It's a similar principle.
Bill Belichick versus a rookie quarterback
Or second year. I think those trends essentially, if you just put first, second year quarterback, it's basically the same thing. Someone that's not good at football yet.
for my dog. Now, again, are the Seahawks available, Ryan?
Sure. I mean, if you're comfortable with that, I'm
kind of soft, but I really do like Seattle.
If you're good with it, I'm good with it.
Do I put, because Washington, I could see them fucking it up. Atlanta, I'm worried. And Bears. Yeah, I'm gonna go Chicago +180. Let's go.
Dog.
Scared money don't make money, Ryan.
You positive about that?
Yep. For my teas, give me Seattle +7.5. That's pretty easy. Give me Kansas City. Perfect tease down to 6.5. That is delicious as far as teases go. And then give me, do I tease the Eagles? I'll tease Atlanta up to 9. What could go wrong there? So lock Raiders -1.5. Dog the Chicago Bears. Other lock New England -5.5. Tease Atlanta +9. KC -6.5. Seattle +7.5. Kramer.
Lock Carolina +7.
Nice.
Second lock. You Baltimore -2.5.
Yeah, like it.
Dog. There was consideration of Miami in the lock category for my dog. Boy, do I want to! I really want to put out the New York Football Jets, but that will catch too much heat. So this is easy, Sean. You didn't take Seattle. One of us has to take Seattle, right?
Yeah. No, I'm co-signing it.
Give me Seattle.
Seattle plus.
I have
105.
2 small dogs. True story.
Small dog
What do they
owner
say?
and operator.
No cap.
No cap.
All right, for the tease, let's play around with. We were dabbling with the idea that there are key numbers that are different than other key numbers, and maybe we don't go full Wong. I feel it's a Wong week though, right?
Wong Cox, Ryan.
Long. Cox.
All right, I like New England to win the game. I'm not worried about not teasing it through the 7. I certainly love Heineke catching points, so give me Washington plus 9.5.
It's a good tease.
And I mean, I you really think the Vegas Raiders are going to roll? Should I avoid that in my Atlanta plus 9?
Let's go. All right. So for our Circa Millions plays, Carolina plus 7, Baltimore minus 2.5, New England
You don't even need to ask.
minus
me.
5.5, Raiders. Are you cool with Raiders, Ryan?
Yeah, I mean, again, you played Seattle last week. I'm not gonna.
It
Juju
worked.
doesn't exist.
And then I think we cap it off with Seattle, right? Seattle plus 1.5. So for our Circa Millions plays, Carolina plus 7, Baltimore minus 2.5, New England minus 5.5, Las Vegas minus 1.5, and Seattle plus 1.5. Nice balanced card there. 3 favorites all under a touchdown. 2 dogs, easy money. Hey, make sure you hit subscribe on the YouTube channel. Comment on one of the posted videos. Again, appreciate the live chat, but it's not stored, so we can't. For picking the name, you need to comment on it.
Yeah, while you're at it, click the thumbs up.
Yeah,
Be a
toss us
team
the
player.
thumbs up.
I mean, think about
Spread
it.
the
right?
word. I mean, again,
Don't be a Christian McCaffrey. Be a PJ Walker. Be a Deontay Foreman.
yeah. Do you want to be an anchor or do you want to be a sail? Are you helping the boat? Are you rowing it or are you holding it back? Tell a friend. I mean, this is how we've grown this empire, is by the listeners, the awesome listeners that we have going, hey, have you checked out this podcast?
We need a
Tell friend.
referral program.
Yeah, I don't know. You get 10 SGPN bucks for every referral you get.
I will. I'll extend my picks package through the end of the season for free, for every person you refer. That doesn't even make sense. Sean's making a mess in here.
No, I wanted to prove that I finished that beer. There were some questions in the YouTube chat.
Thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
DFS podcast coming and props podcast coming as well. For the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, stacking the money green, and he is Ryan.
Good luck to your Phillies and Eagles, Sean.
Thank you, Kramer. Let it ride.